Our opening words this morning are from Thich Nhat Hanh, who says simply, "We are here to awaken the illusion of our separateness." Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Central Oregon. My name is Amy Brock, and I'm the Director of Religious Exploration for Children and Youth, and today I am your worship guide. I'm joined this morning by our minister, Reverend Scott Rudolph, and by Cher Coleman, who brings some of her puppet friends for our story today. We are very excited to meet them later. We welcome you this morning. We know that you come for different reasons. We know that you come to find community. We know that you come to seek spiritual and personal truths, to question, to nurture your heart and soul, to be nurtured, to explore new ideas, to find comfort, and perhaps to find the answers to some of your bigger questions. We welcome you. We know you come from different places, different religions, different beliefs, and different backgrounds. We hope that you will find comfort, connection, challenge, and love here with us today.
For our opening song this morning, "Oh, We Give Thanks," we've added a second verse. So as you're singing along, please enjoy that. Please join in body and spirit. Precious day, oh, we give thanks for the old and young, for a time of wonder, joy and fun, for all we give as we grow and live. Oh, we give thanks for the old and young. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. This precious day.
This morning, Cher has our chalice lighting words, and I think August Parkin is going to come light our chalice.
Good morning. I'm Cher Coleman. We light this chalice remembering and honoring our own tradition and celebrating the rich diversity of traditions among us. As we search for justice, meaning, and purpose, may we remember that justice, meaning, and purpose lived first in deeply listening to one another.
Please join in body and spirit as we sing our chalice response, Spirit of Life.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
It is time for our time for all ages. So if you are young or young at heart, I'm going to invite you to find your way to the rug this morning for our special story today. And I think we're going to try to sit where we can see our space right here. And I'm going to try to sit where I can see both you and our puppeteer. All right. Are our puppets all ready for this story? Okay. You want to check with them and make sure? I'm going to make sure all the puppets are ready. Okay. I think they're all ready. All right. Our story this morning is called The Paper Dragon, and it's by Margaret Duval. This version is. Long ago, in a small village in China, there lived a humble artist whose name was Mi Fei. Between each day's sunrise and sunset, he dipped his narrow brushes in his colorful paints and painted on his scrolls. Do you see him over there? Mi Fei loved to paint the glorious past scenes of gods and their festivals, portraits of heroes and their deeds. Villagers came from far and wide to buy his beautiful scroll paintings so that they could learn about history as one would learn from books. However, Mi Fei's happiness and pleasure had nothing to do with fame. It came from living with people of all ages and loving the stories that they told him. One day, as Mi Fei was working quietly in his studio, a panicked messenger came running through town. The messenger said, "Everyone listen to me. The great dragon, Sui Jin, has woken from his 100-year-old sleep on Lung Mountain. He's destroying everything in his path. His fire is burning villages. His feet are trampling rice fields, and his great tail is destroying the mulberry bushes. Someone must stop him." So, all the villagers gathered to figure out what they should do. And as they talked among themselves, they agreed that the only person who could possibly be wise enough to stop this dragon was Mi Fei. And so they went to Mi Fei to ask him for help. How do you think Mi Fei felt when they asked him? How would you feel if somebody asked you that? Somebody made a really scared face. Yeah, I'd probably feel kind of scared too. Well, the story tells us that Mi Fei was kind of concerned. He said, "I'm no warrior or hero, I'm just a humble painter." "But you know all about the gods and heroes better than everyone else," said the people. "Surely this gives you more wisdom than us to fight the dragon." Mi Fei thought for a moment, but as he looked out at all the hopeful faces of his friends and neighbors, he knew he could not refuse. And so, the next morning, he packed some things for his trip to the mountain. What do you think he packed? If you were going to go to a mountain with a dragon, what would you bring with you? You bring some food. Food for you or food for the dragon? Maybe both. All right, what else would we bring? Food and water, okay. Toothbrushes? Oh, paintbrushes. Maybe some maybe for the dragon's teeth. Okay, we'll see. It says that he packed some rice cakes, so food, and some of his favorite scrolls, his paints and his brushes, paper, a small candle, and his paper cutting knife. And then he set off for Lung Mountain. Traveling all day through the meadows toward the foothills of the mountain, Mi Fei finally arrived and stood at the base. The mountain was so tall. And as he got closer, there was a great rumbling of rocks that were dislodged, and they tumbled down toward him. He dodged the rocks and looked closer. At the very top of the mountain, he could see smoke and flames rising. Mi-Fei gasped, "Huh, that must be from Sui-Jin, the dragon." "Wow, this seems so dangerous," thought Mi-Fei. And for a moment, he felt very afraid. But then he remembered the hopeful faces of the people from his village. And so he decided to keep climbing to see what he could do to help. He climbed and he climbed and he climbed and he climbed. Soon, the mist became thicker and the rumbling grew louder and louder. Many times he wanted to run back to the village, but each time he saw in his mind the worried faces of the people that he loved, and so he kept going. Soon the thundering became nearly unbearable, and the mist grew too thick to see. Mi-Fei crouched quietly in the fog, and then he saw it. The great dragon Sui-Jin had appeared. He towered over Mi-Fei, and he bellowed, "Who dares disturb Sui-Jin, the source of fire in the heart of the mountain?" Mi-Fei managed to speak. It is I, Mi-Fei, the humble painter of scrolls. I was sent here by my people. You see, I understand that you scorched our tea leaves and uprooted our mulberry bushes, and it sounds like you trampled some villages and destroyed all the food. So our people have nothing to eat. And after all that, I'm imagining that maybe you're pretty tired, so I've come here to ask if you could take a long nap now. Please, I beg of you, dragon, to please return to your sleep. Sui-Jin laughed long and hard. "Ha, ha, 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 ha," he said. "Before I return to my slumber, someone must perform 3 tasks. Until then, I plan to keep trampling and burning everything in my path." "Oh," said Mi-Fei in a very small voice. What are those 3 tasks?" "First," growled the dragon, "I have a question for you. What is the most important thing that your people have created?" Without even thinking, Mi-Fei said, "Paper. Paper is the most important thing." "Paper," bellowed the dragon. "Ha, ha, ha. Then your first task is to bring me fire wrapped in paper, and do it before sunset or I must devour you." Mi-Fei scrambled partway down the mountain to the safety of a large rock. What a fool I was to say paper, he thought. I could have said tin or brass, but paper? How will I ever bring fire wrapped in paper? Mi-Fei thought to himself about how his people learned about the gods and their history. He unrolled his scrolls, hoping to find wisdom from the stories in their pages. Suddenly, he had an idea. He took out his small cutting knife, and he began to cut and fold and cut and fold and cut and fold. And then, when he was finished, before sunset, he walked back up the path to Sui-Jin and carefully placed a lantern encircling a small candle before the great dragon. Sui-Jin laughed again. Ha, ha, ha. And as he did, the flame blew out. It became no more than a wisp of smoke. Mi-Fei knew he had succeeded. But only for a moment did Mi-Fei rest, because with a great sweep of his mighty tail, Sui-Jin towered over Mi-Fei once again. "Your second task," he growled, "is to bring me wind wrapped in paper, and you must do it before noon tomorrow, or I will devour you." Mi-Fei scrambled back to the safety of the rock. He slept restlessly there. And then, in the morning, he awakened again. He unrolled one scroll after another, searching the stories for clues. One story in particular caught his eye. It was about a beautiful princess with a fan who got lost in the hot desert. He smiled to himself, and he began to fold and cut again until he had a new shape. And then, before noon, Mi-Fei traveled back up the path to Sui-Jin, and he found that the dragon was resting in the sun. Mi-Fei reached out and began to fan the dragon with the folded and cut paper. Sui-Jin smiled. He stretched and he yawned and he uncoiled his massive tail. Mi-Fei smiled too. He just knew that he had succeeded. But then the dragon opened his eyes and bellowed, "Your third task is to bring me the strongest thing in the world wrapped in paper. Do this before sundown or I will devour you." Once again, Mi-Fei scrambled back to the rock's safety. What is the strongest thing in the world, he asked himself. Could it be the rock? Or maybe Sui-Jin? What do you think the strongest thing in the world is? Maybe the rock, yeah. It's not, what is it? It's what? Steel? Titanium, steel, a giant chicken, a hot dog? I don't know. Let's find out. Well, Mi-Fei didn't know, so he turned again to his scrolls and started to search the stories of his people. It might have been a rocket ship. Let's see. But this time, nothing came to him as it had before. Mi-Fei was discouraged. He felt he would surely be eaten by sundown. To console himself, he began to paint. And soon he found himself creating the faces of his friends. When he finished, he stared at his painting. Then he rolled up his scroll and he smiled, knowing just what he needed to do. As he went to the top of the mountain, he saw Sui-Jin waiting at the top. "Well," he bellowed, "am I to eat you?" Mi-Fei unrolled the picture and said in a clear voice, "I present you with the strongest thing in the world. It's a picture of all my friends in the village that I love. You see, love can move mountains. It can stretch the sky. It can calm the sea. Love is the strongest thing because it brings us light and life." Mi-Fei waited for another roar, but this time, Sui-Jin's eyes began to soften and his body began to melt toward the earth. And then, in a whispered voice, the dragon yawned. "You're right," he said. "The strongest thing is love. Thank you, Mi-Fei. You helped me find my way back to sleep once again." And with that, the dragon's eyes got heavier and heavier, and his body got smaller and smaller until he disappeared into the fog. And in the place where the dragon once stood, Mi-Fei saw something. He looked closer. It was a small paper dragon. He carefully picked it up and placed it in his scroll to take back to his village. And now, whenever Mi-Fei paints, he always draws a small dragon in the corner of every picture to remind everyone of how powerful it is when we use our imagination to love and help each other. This story tells us that our greatest power lies not in our physical strength, but in our love and our creativity. His gifts, his art, his imagination, and his care for his people really bless the world around him. I would imagine that Mi-Fei probably made a scroll to share about his experience with the dragon, with his people. What do you think? Do you think he made a scroll? I think he might have. Did you know that the experiences that we have together, like listening to stories of dragons, are important stories in your life? And you can draw them in RE if you want to. That's always something that you can do if you want to make scrolls, like Mi-Fei. Before we go today, I want to share one of my favorite practices with you. You could also choose to draw a picture about this if you want to. So, We are going to have an apple celebration together today. Yeah, an apple celebration. So in a minute, our ushers and greeters are going to pass around some baskets of apples. They'll come down the aisles just like the offering baskets. You can take one. Don't eat it yet. Just hold on to it. And while they're passing the apples, I'm going to celebrate some really special people that you all know pretty well. I think we have a basket over there that the choir can have, and then I'll take it and give it to the children at the end when they've all got their apples. Yeah, okay. So while we're passing out apples, if you are a parent, caregiver, or grandparent of a child in our RE program, please rise in body or spirit and stay standing so that we can celebrate you. Let's celebrate our parents. If you are a teacher, you guys can stay standing. If you're a teacher or if you've volunteered in RE this year, please rise and join them so that we can celebrate you. If you serve on our RE team, please join them so we can celebrate you. Thank you. If you are an adult member, friend, or regular participant in the life of this congregation, or even if you're a new person with us today, please stand and join us. We want to celebrate you. If you are a child or a youth in our RE program, please stand so that we can celebrate you. Right. While we're getting our apples, let's just take a moment to feel the ground on our feet. See if you can grow really tall, kind of like an apple tree. All right. We've almost got our apples. We can be patient. See if you can, we got a really good apple tree right here. Can embody the apple tree for a moment. Yeah, all right. I invite you to take a look at your apple piece, if you have it, or when you get it, and look at it really closely. Notice if it's red, or if it's gold, or if it's green. I would imagine that they're kind of all the same in some way, and like a little bit different too. And this reminds us that it's okay for us to be the same in some ways and different in other ways. Yours has sparkles on it. Ooh, we're going to talk about that later in the service today. You got sparkles too? Oh, I love it. Okay. Now press your feet into the ground, and let's see if we can make an even taller apple tree than we did a minute ago. And let's grow some branches on our tree. Can you grow some branches on your tree? Imagine the tree that your apple grew on. It was probably big and strong, but I bet it had branches that could move with the wind. Can we move our branches with the wind? And this reminds us that we have shared values that give us both strength in knowing who we are and enough flexibility to be curious about all of our ideas and experiences that might be different from our own. All right, you can settle your branches. And now the moment that we've all been waiting for. Take your apple and eat it. Whose apple is sweet? Raise your hand. Some sweet apples. Whose apple is sour? Did anybody's apple taste like a grape? No. What about an orange? Did anybody's taste like an orange? Oh, no, okay. Well, probably not, because it's an apple. Yeah, and this reminds us that we each have our own flavor, our own story, our own gifts, and yet this faith of Unitarian Universalism is our shared home. So let's go ahead and make the arch for our children as we prepare to send them to RE, and we'll say our children's covenant. In this place, I am kind. In this place, I am loving. In this place, I am a friend to the earth and all animals and people. In this place, I am loved.
As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go.
Hello. My name is Laura Pitney, and I am the engagement coordinator here at UUFCO. And our theme this month is nurturing gratitude, and I don't think it's any coincidence that it is also the month that we celebrate Thanksgiving. We are having a celebration here on Thanksgiving Day if you're interested. We would love for you to participate in that. It is both turkey provided by us and potluck sides by you, so sign up for that at the kiosk if you'd like to join us for Thanksgiving. And we are also part of creating a Thanksgiving meal for Bethlehem Inn, which serves people who don't have a place to be for their own Thanksgiving. They join together with others, and we provide all the food for that. And you can sign up for what you might like to bring to that meal also at the kiosk. It's such an important thing that we give to our community. And then there are two other things, wonderful things I want to point out. You may have seen the absolutely abstract art installation that our art team put up in Linus Pauling last weekend is so beautiful. So thank you for doing that for all of us and for our community. And if you'd like to meet the artists, that reception is on Thursday. And finally, come on November 15th for the 6th annual art sale. There are incredible things that artists in the community sell here, and proceeds contribute to UUFCO. Thank you very much.
This morning, as we prepare to share our offering, we remember that giving is not only about generosity, it's about connection. May your offering be an expression of that belonging, a way of saying yes to the shared work of caring for our community. And as you listen to a UU Commission song by Leah Morris and Adam Pod, may you be reminded that all of our gifts, no matter how big or small, that you share with this fellowship, very much make you a part of it.
Eternal sacred circle, we are part of it. There's an eternal sacred circle, we are part of it. We are only part of it. There's the divine and loving wisdom. We're a spark of it. There's a divine and loving wisdom. We're a spark of it. But we are only part of it. We are a part. We are part of it. We are a spark. We're a spark of it. We are a part. We are part of it. We are a spark. We're a spark of it. Here as one voice we choose survival, and we start to make an art of it. Now is our moment for revival. We're at the heart of it. And we are only part of it. We are only part of it. We are a part. We are part.
This congregation shares in our joys and our sorrows and our gratitudes as a part of one of the rituals that brings us together. Well, I'm reading the written joys and sorrows and gratitudes that are located in our kiosk every week that you can fill out to have those read. We'll invite anyone to, they're already all up. They didn't need my invitation. I haven't said it yet. But you can then go to the candles on the side. See, we know what to do. I should just start that, yeah. If you're new, we welcome you. This is part of our ritual. If there's a joy or a sorrow or gratitude in your heart that you'd like to light a candle for, please feel free to follow the lead of the folks who are doing so already. I'm going to start with a gratitude, and that is for an evening sky. I don't know if anybody looked up last night and saw that miracle of this strange, miraculous world that we live on, the universe that we're a part of, but that you could just look up and see something of profound beauty like that on a Saturday night is a theater that we could not imagine to be so lucky to witness. Beautiful. Another gratitude. It's fun to share what happened last night on Sunday morning because you walk in and the chairs are set, the place is clean, there's not chili everywhere. Because yesterday, Think Wild had a very large chili cook-off, and that was the report, that at the close of the evening there was chili everywhere. And I said, oh, hold on, what do you mean by everywhere? And they just stopped, and they thought about it, and they said, no, I mean everywhere. It was everywhere. And yet, because of the work of good hands that come in after events like that to support both our community and this community, we walk in and we would never even know it. So this place serves more than we could ever imagine during the week. So our written joys and sorrows, we have Wendy Howard and Bob Barber. What a joy to welcome our new grandson, Thiago, born to our son Ryan and his wife Natalia in La Mesa, California. He was born on November 7th. Congratulations, Bob and Wendy. Then a sorrow from Jim and Becky Dabrowski. Our sister-in-law, Bob Martin, passed away on Tuesday from complications following surgery and lifelong smoking. She had quilted over 900 quilts in the last 30 years. Most were given away to family graduates, weddings, veterans, Lebanon Veterans Home, and Head Start. She attended AA religiously and sponsored many people. She will be missed by many. And then a joy by Ann Wyman. The orange color of these roses are to mark my dad's birthday today. He would have been 102. The experimental roses that he grew for OSU were much more beautiful than these, but he loved the orange hybrids the most. If these joys and sorrows don't show us the arc of what our community can be, from the celebration of a birth of a grandson to a newly departed loved one to the memory of someone in our family that we hold dear. These are the arcs of our lives and what we lift up to be held in love by one another. Well, I've got another joy. And it is the fact that this offering song was great. And just this morning I heard, I've got a friend, he's a rapper in Portland, and he released this new song. And the last line of the song is, you are always a part of what always has been and what will always be. What a profound thing that no matter what we do, we are a part of something larger than ourselves. And it's undeniable and inescapable. And yet within that family of things, sometimes we are lucky enough to find a closer family and community of people and activities and things. And so this morning, this congregation welcomed new members into our religious tradition and into this community. So I'd like to invite those folks up now to our stage. We talked about how becoming a member of this congregation really has a similar arc in its own respect. That you come curious, wondering, and uncertain of what is to be revealed. And then in time, you just start trying things. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but you keep trying them, and over time, you have a shared experience that leads to depth, it leads to relationship, and it leads to love. And you think, and you look around one day, and you say, wow, I belong here, and I belong with these people. And I belong in this very long line of people for these in particular people on this particular morning. So we are So grateful and glad to be welcoming them into this fellowship this morning.
So we're welcoming 17 new people into our fellowship, which is fantastic. A couple weren't able to be here in the ceremony, but we're going to get to meet every single one of them who are showing up here on the stage in front of us today. I said this to them earlier, but I'm going to say it again to all of us, that this fellowship is each one of us. It is our collective, but the collective changes every time we have a new person who enters into it. It's a fabric of us. And so this is a ritual that we're going to do so that their spoken name, their spoken presence lands them here with us, and we receive them. So let's have each person in the line say their name to us and also one word about their journey, how they're feeling, what it is to be here today, and we're going to receive them in.
Hi, I'm Nick, and I'm excited today.
Hi, I'm Mary Elizabeth, and I am inspired.
Hello, I'm Anne, and I feel welcomed.
I'm Molly, and I feel harmonious.
Good morning, I'm Jeff. Feel open-hearted.
Hi, I'm Abigail. I feel thankful.
I'm Tim, and I feel love.
I'm Noemi, and I'm feeling connection.
I'm Laura. I feel gratitude.
I'm Marilyn. I feel awe.
I'm Sarah, and I feel authenticity.
I'm Gary, and I feel accepted.
I'm Janet, and I feel blessed.
I'm Tim, and I feel harmony, sanctuary.
I'm Alan. I feel welcomed.
Welcome, everyone. It's so great to see you here. Joining the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Oregon means entering into a covenantal relationship, a relationship of mutuality, of giving and receiving. Our mission is that we join together to seek meaning, celebrate life, and to serve the spirit of love and justice in our world. To those new members who have chosen to deepen their relationship to this fellowship, do you affirm our covenant, finding in it support and challenge? If so, say, we will. We will. To the members of UUFCO, do you also renew your own commitment to this congregation as we live into beloved community, imperfectly, humbly, and with curiosity and joy? If so, say, we do. We do. Welcome, new members of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Central Oregon. On behalf of the membership of UUFCO, we extend to you all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities associated with membership of this congregation. I encourage you to learn about our Unitarian Universalist tradition, our history, and our promise. You are now a part of this congregation with all its imperfections and beauty, with all our human frailty, our power, and our hope. We joyfully receive you as members among us. Yay. Thank you all. Thanks, everybody. Okay. Yes, let's go.
Let's go.
For our anthem today, we not only celebrate all our 17 new members, we celebrate community, and we celebrate a shared gratitude for music. how it continues to guide our experience together and allows us to sing of the things that mean so much to us, such as joy, peace, and love. Continuing with the unity and communication of the djembe that our guest drummer last week, Fode, shared with us. We add more instruments to our percussion ensemble, including more cowbell. We sing in the language of Swahili with text that speaks and translates as Kuja Hebu Kuimba. Come, let us sing. Hebu muziki kwa mwongozo wetu. And let music be our guide. Kuimba kwa moyo wa furaha. Sing with a joyful heart. Kuimba ya amani. Sing of peace. Kuimba ya upendi. Sing of love.
Our theme this month is nurturing gratitude. Nurturing is kind of a diverse word. I think In all of the different ways that it's used, though, it carries the concept of care. I invite you to kind of sit with the idea of nurturing for a moment. When you think about nurturing, what comes to your mind? When I think about it, I think about tilling soil, preparing for plants to grow, or maybe measuring ingredients really carefully for baking, waiting for yeast to rise. Although in practice, I think I do a better job of nurturing things that make noise. I once worked for a director that was quite concerned when I brought a hamster into my classroom after killing quite a few plants. But I'm happy to say that Tic Tac lived a nice long life with his squeaky little wheel to remind me to nurture him. Generally, though, when I think about nurturing, I would say that I think of it as something that takes a lot of time and consideration. As an educator, I find that one of the nurturing practices of teaching is the concept of scaffolding. Scaffolding is the idea that we cannot just point our students in the direction of their goals and say, best of luck, hope that works out for you. It's the practice of looking at goals and thinking about what steps are needed to reach those goals, and then figuring out what skills are needed to actually achieve those steps. It's breaking down large tasks into really granular actions that help young people come to a conclusion on their own of, I can do that, instead of, that's too hard. This contrasts older frameworks of educational practice that kind of relied on persistence alone, the if at first you don't succeed, try again mindset. Instead, scaffolded instruction centers the idea that children are already capable, that they're already doing the best that they can, and that it is the educator's responsibility to keep trying to figure out what each student needs to succeed. In practice, this looks like a lot of observing, witnessing, noticing, and encouraging. Not just knowing what content a student needs to learn, but getting to know the students as the unique people that they are. Unitarian Universalists have long believed that nurturing the spiritual lives of young people is inherently sacred in a similar way. In 1837, Unitarian minister and theologian William Ellery Channing is said to have written the following words: "The great end in religious instruction is not to stamp our minds upon the young, but to stir up our own, not to make them see with our eyes, but to look inquiringly and steadily with their own." Channing's theology laid the foundation for later Unitarian Universalist religious educators like Sophia Lyon-Fahs, who wrote in the 1930s, "Every child is born with an inner life of beauty and mystery. It is our task not to mold this life, but to give it room to grow." Because of these foundational frameworks, UU religious education, or exploration classes, typically center the idea that their goal is not to instruct children in a way that might change how they think, but rather to provide experiences that invite curiosity. They also provide relationships that reflect a child's own light back to them. To nurture a child, to listen to their stories, and celebrate their questions is truly a sacred practice of love. And this understanding, passed through generations of UU parents and religious educators, is the heart of our faith's commitment to learning. When we sit together in this space, or in our children's classrooms, we're doing exactly what Mi-Fei did. We're weaving stories, invoking imaginations, sometimes awakening dragons, but most importantly, cultivating love. When we gather in community, there is a hum in the room, a pulse of life that quickens when babies cry, when youth laugh in hallways, when coffee cups clatter, when children screech over the same Lego. That hum, that pulse, is the sound of community. It's the sound of nurturing in action. Through every story that we hear and every question that we honor, we are shaping a faith that invites people of all ages to live our shared values in the world. In practice, this can look like striving to create a socially just world that works for everyone, building equitable, inclusive, resilient, and liberatory communities, celebrating and learning from the diversity in our pluralistic congregations, being generous and practicing gratitude as we share our power, presence, and resources, and welcoming transformative experiences as we open ourselves to the growth and change needed to evolve as a faith. And most importantly, we can do all of these things while letting our central value of love ground and guide us. Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker, American theologian, author, and former president of Starr King School for the Ministry, once said, "Your gifts, whatever you discover them to be, can be used to bless or curse the world. None of us alone can save the world. Together, that is another possibility waiting." These words invite us to look inward, to recognize that each of us carries gifts that can bless or wound, heal or harm. Recently, in their coming-of-age lesson about becoming young Unitarian Universalists, our teens, that are often called youth in UU spaces, reflected on the following quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson. He began his career as a Unitarian minister. He said, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." Our youth then discussed the following question: what is constantly trying to make you something else? What is that thing that's keeping you from being yourself in the world? And they had some really insightful thoughts about this that I think can help us as a community understand what some of their needs are as young people so that we might come along beside them in their faith development journey. But I also believe that it's important to pause for just a moment and honor that due to various practices in our UU religious education history, some of our young people at UUFCO and in our wider UU community have sometimes experienced our attempts to include them by inviting them to share about their experiences in our spaces as somewhat voyeuristic, in the sense that they felt kind of observed or watched or perceived by the adults around them, but never really got to feel like they were seen or known by us. While I don't believe that was the intention, it doesn't negate the impact. And like Maya Angelou once said, when you know better, you do better. And I think doing better for our young people requires just a small shift in the way we see our relationship with them. We could think of it like looking through a prism, where without the light coming through, we can certainly appreciate it, but it looks pretty plain. However, when we turn it just a little bit so that the light shines in, we're able to really appreciate the complex and multifaceted nature of the light. It's the same object, but a different perspective. We could think of the practice of turning the prism as kind of a form of nurturing, of scaffolding, of working to find just the right angle so that the love that already exists across all generations in our fellowship can begin to flow more freely between those generations. In spiritual terms, we could say that our young people offer us a sacred invitation to move from curiosity to connection, from speculation to conversation, from distance to relationship, from appreciating their presence to getting to know their truths. And when they do bless us by taking risks to share their thoughts and experiences and feelings with us, it's important that we understand the value in this and do our best to appropriately match their vulnerability. And so, before I share some of the things that our youth shared in RE, I want to take a moment and invite you to join them in thinking about Emerson's quote. "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." And as you think about this, I encourage you to try to find one thing that you think is trying to make you something else, something other than yourself, something that doesn't feel like you, that's pulling you away from who you really are. Just think about like one word or sentence that would sort of convey what that is. And when you know what it is, you can show me that you know by giving me a thumbs up. Okay, I see lots of thumbs. So now, in the spirit of shared vulnerability, I invite you to turn to someone close to you and share that word or phrase with them. No long explanations, just share the word or the phrase that you feel is connected to pulling you away from who you are with someone around you. Go. I'm appreciating the hum of community in this space. Let us all come back together. Thank you for sharing your truths with each other. And I invite you to hold those words that you shared and those that were shared with you in your heart as we learn some of what those things are for our teens at UUFCO. They said clothes, not the clothes that they want to wear, but the clothes that their peers think they should wear that kind of keeps them from being who they are. Then they said jobs or required classes, like being forced to follow rules or participate in ways that don't align with their values. They said playing the right sports. Apparently there are cool sports and not cool sports. And some people feel the need to play certain sports based on what other people think about them, not what they actually want to play. I'm just going to call this one the isms. Racism, classism, ableism, those things that make them different in some way that they can't change, like their height or their skin color or what resources their parents have access to. Or these could be things that they might be able to change somewhat, and they think others would like them better if they did, but it requires a lot of energy that they don't always have space to give to that, like how fast they talk, how much eye contact they give, or how much they move or fidget in a space. Then they said who their parents voted for. They said this creates a lot of division among their peers. And while many of them share their parents' values, it doesn't make it any easier to live with the social challenges of those choices. The last thing that they named was advertising, as in ads on everything that always make you want something different or something that you already have and want more of. All of those ads always pulling us in different directions. I'm curious if you might have shared some of those things that our teens shared. And if you named some of those things, or if someone named something like that to you, could you be super brave and raise your hand? Do we feel kind of like our teens in any kind of way? I think so. Yeah. I think teens sometimes think that they're the only ones who have these thoughts or feelings. And I just think that, like we just saw, we're probably more similar than we realize. Thank you so much for sharing and for participating. So after our discussion about Emerson's quote, our youth mentors asked our youth, well, how they might work to change some of those things or challenge some of those things so that they could be themselves more in the world. And some of them said, there is nothing that we can do about this. They said, it's a trap, and everyone's doomed to fall in. Then they said, you just have to follow along because there's no other choice. And haven't we all felt that way at one time or another? That pull to fit in, to follow along, to dim our light just a little bit so that it's easier for others to be with us. This can be absolutely true, and it's probably not the only truth. So then our mentors did a bit of scaffolding and asked the teens to consider if there were any other options. And our youth thought about it for a minute. And then some of them said, that it is a choice to actually care what people think. It's a hard choice, but it's a choice that you can make. And then some of them said, well, maybe our values could help. And we've been talking a lot about our UU values this year because perhaps they really can help us in those situations that sometimes feel so challenging. I was listening to a podcast last week that was calling adults to understand the intense need that young people have for role models in their lives right now, for people in their communities to show up and show them the importance of loving others. And as I listened, it felt like a really big ask to try to be louder than all of the ads and all of the influencers. How could we ever do that? But if we think about scaffolding it, breaking it down, maybe some of those same values that guide our UU community, like love, justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity, can guide us in our relationships with our children and youth at UUFCO. For example, they might tell us to ask our children and youth questions, not stereotype them or make assumptions, to share our joys and sorrows in ways and at times that are appropriate for their ages, to find opportunities to show them how we support all of our neighbors, to openly and intentionally celebrate the differences among us, to acknowledge when we get things wrong and apologize when we may have caused harm, to speak up when we don't see others being included somewhere, to model how it's important to care for our building and all of our materials, to nurture a practice of gratitude for all that we have, all that we are, and all that we want to be. We carry with us in this space the heritage of a faith that believes the lives of young people are not empty vessels waiting to be filled, but sacred flames already lit. Our goal is not to shape anyone into being someone else, but to see the light that is already there, nurture it, and give it space to shine. Community at its best is not where individuality disappears, but where it is honored, celebrated, and interwoven into something larger than any of us could create alone. As Leah and Adam reminded us in their song, we're all a part of it. We're only one part of it, and yet we're at the heart of it. No one person or one generation holds the whole of truth or love alone. No matter what age we are, each of us carries a shimmering spark, or a sparkle, as one of our little ones noticed about their apple this morning. Shimmering spark or sparkle of our sacred circle. And when all of our sparkles come together to join in song, story, conversation, or shared silence, we become the heart of a moving, living being, Unitarian Universalist fellowship. May it be so. Please rise in body or spirit as we join in gratitude for this community of love that holds us all with the words of Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker, arranged by Elizabeth Norton. And please remain standing after this song for the covenant that will follow.
There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all. I'm rest in this love. There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all. Rest in this love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all.
Please join me in saying the covenant. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
As we leave this space, may we rest in the love within us and around us. May we bless the world and